Chapter 23. Military Takeover. Operation Garden Plot. Our Military and Civil Disturbances. The curious thing is, a civil disturbance plan called Garden Plot was in place more than 10 years before 9/11. See if you agree whether this is a blueprint for the military taking over during any protest or unrest that might seem to be getting out of hand, in case you still think the Patriot Act couldn't be applied to us. Turning the military loose in our country to take care of things. Isn't this what the National Guard is for? And doesn't that fall under the jurisdiction of the states and their governors? It seems that the feds shouldn't be coming in unless they're asked, which maybe they'd have to be now, because the National Guard is off fighting in foreign countries. It's all ass backwards. We've got the Guard in Iraq, and they're trying to turn the regular military loose on our own citizens. Again, we owe that role reversal to George W. Bush. This operations plan, OPLAN, is entitled Department of Defense Civil Disturbance Plan. Its nickname is Garden Plot. This OPLAN provides guidance and direction for participation by all Department of Defense, DoD, components in civil disturbance operations in support of civil authorities. All parts of this OPLAN are unclassified. 2. In accordance with IAW DoD Directive 3025.12, the Secretary of the Army is the DoD executive agent for military operations in response to domestic civil disturbances within the 50 states, District of Columbia, Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, U.S. territories and possessions, and any political subdivision thereof. This OPLAN is published under the authority of this executive agency. Garden Plot applies to the military departments, the unified and specified commands, the defense agencies, and other DoD components for planning, coordinating, and executing military operations during domestic civil disturbances.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, Ruel, and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life to do so for Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai's sake. I'm Brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, the reason why I brought out the book of Daniel chapter 12 verse 1 is that we're now in the year of so-called 2020. And the apostles of Great Millstone have deemed it 2020 year of prophecy. And part of prophecy is Jacob's trouble. And what you saw in that video that I put in post-production is a clear indicator that Esau Edom, the so-called white man, all right, has laws on the books to exterminate you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans because you're the children of Israel, all right? And the only way we're going to get up out of this is if Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai delivers us from it. And he has to set a standard because these Edomites have laws on the books to exterminate us. And one of those laws is Operation Garden Plot. And that's why we're going to need, all right, Yahweh Shai to protect us. And he's going to send Michael the archangel to be that guard. And if you're not found in the book of life, you're dead. All right? Because Esau's not going to spare none. So let's get into this article. When the Army planned for a fight in the U.S. cities, right, and that's what Operation Garter Plot is. It's the military, the active duty Army military personnel being used in the country, not the National Guard. And if you've done any Google research of where the National Guard has been doing, they've been deploying over to the Middle East and other areas, all right? And you could think, like the video you saw, whoever this Edomite was that brought it out, Bush, because Bush changed role reversals. The National Guard is not going to be used to go fight in abroad, while the Army and the Army Reserves are here to handle the citizens. And that's why you saw in the beginning of the video, all right, the 93rd Military Police Battalion for Fort Bliss training for civil disturbance, civil disobedience. In 1968, one retired colonel warned that urban insurrections could produce scenes of destruction approaching those of Stalingrad. In January 1968, Colonel Robert B. Brigg, a retired Army intelligence officer, published an article in Army magazine that captured the attention of an establishment reeling from recent riots in Watts, Detroit, and other American cities. Right. And who was the main nation involved in that? All right. Jake. The Watts riots, Detroit. All right. That's all Jake. That's all you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Americans. All right. He argued that those disturbances might be relatively mild precursors to a coming rebellion in the streets, that during the next few years, organized urban insurrection could explode to the extent that large American cities could become scenes of destruction approaching those of Stalingrad in World War II, right? And that's what we're coming to, man. All right, it's going to be all types of civil unrest, mainly from Jake, all right, because they're going to not have anything. When the next economy crashes, you'll be the first ones fired. All right, you'll be the first ones to lose your home. And don't think this ain't happening. Check this out. All right, 168. This is from SouthSentinel.com. I got the to my brother Zakaria in my camp. He found this article. He did a lesson on it. But hey, look, 168 Kmart Sears workers to lose jobs as more South Florida stores close, right? Kmart and Sears. And these are not, small companies. These are major Fortune 500 companies, and they're closing down. So you Jakes are losing your jobs. And guess what? These stores that are closed, all right, these super centers, they're going to be used as a FEMA detention, right? Just like the Walmarts down at the border are used as a FEMA detention. And that's how, and that's what you're actually seeing a soft form of Rex 84, Operation Garter Plot, all right, King Alfred Plan happening, mainly with Northern Kingdom. So that's it. I just wanted to show you that. I don't need to read the article. And by the way, I'll put all these articles in the description box so you can read them for yourself. So back to the Atlantic. He says, as he envisioned, those disaffected by the Vietnam War or poverty, here we go, or racial injustice, right? So they know all these laws are set up for against our people, all right? Might at any time attempt a guerrilla uprising in their cities where man has invariably built a finer jungle for insurrection than any in nature. Rooftops, windows, rooms, high up, streets low down, and back alley nearby could become a virtual jungle for patrolling police or military forces at night when hidden snipers could abound, as they often do against U.S. and Allied forces in Vietnam in daylight, he wrote. Right, or now in the Middle East, in countries like Iraq. All right, when I went to Iraq 13 years ago, all right, we were walking through the cities, all right, where we could have been put in harm's way by snipers, all right, or suicide bombers. Quote, could local police or National Guard units carry out such a search and destroy campaign in the cement block jungles of high-rise buildings? He didn't think so. Urban guerrillas could shoot down the streets, drop firebombs, and not even need mortars, he wrote. Hostages could be taken. The communists might even try to fuel the flames of insurgency. All right, that's the liberal side, the left side. And while social, economic, political reforms might succeed in staving off such rebellions, he reasoned they may not. Thus, he called for an effective system of intelligence in the ghettos. In the ghettos, who lives there? All right? Hey, Daniel 12:1. And at that time, shall Michael stand up. The great prince was standing for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even at the same time. Right. Which nation is going to see trouble? The nation of Israel, man. All right. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. Right. And that's why we're going to need the Lord to protect us. Okay. And he's going to send Michael, the archangel, to be that guard. Salakia. Including deep penetration by undercover cops and military intelligence. Oh, so guess what? There's heavy military intelligence in the ghettos, in the barrios, along with army preparations to fight pitched urban battles here in America. His conclusion, including the chilling suggestion, army units, so not National Guard, army units must be oriented and trained to know the cement and asphalt jungle of every American city. Possibly the site of such maneuvers in several cities could prove a deterrent to urban insurrection. Right. That's why you had a just recently in LA a military and police cooperation. All right, where you had army personnel doing drills within the urban community, going into buildings, into 12, 8-story buildings, 7 to 8 to 12-story buildings. Excuse me. Riggs' article coincided with the mass loss of faith in American cities, fueled by riots, rising crime, and racism. Right. And aren't we seeing that now? Are we not seeing that now? And also by federal policy like investments in highways and subsidized home loans for World War II veterans that made suburban existence more viable for people and business alike, causing many to relocate away from dense cores to where land or labor were cheaper. And now everywhere you go is, okay, it's expensive. There's articles where it says the rural America is finished. So everybody's being pushed into these mega cities, which is going to cause, okay, the Jacob's trouble, man. See if there's any more on this. Americans would only later discover that abusive COINTELPRO surveillance of black power activists. Oh, there you go, the black. There's that stigmatism. Now remember, this came out in 1968. All right. So the federal government, the FBI, all right, and whatever other agencies have been heavily watching our people, man. Black powers activists and anti-Vietnam protesters and suspected communists was, in fact, already operational, part because the establishment feared insurrection. Even today, many remain unaware of what the army was planning, right? So, and this is it right here. In September 1968, months after the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. and ensuing riots, the U.S. Army published a then classified plan called Garden Plot, noting dissatisfaction with the environmental conditions contributing to racial unrest and civil disturbances and dissatisfaction with national policy as manifested in the anti-draft and anti-Vietnam demonstrations. Right. And this Garden Plot, all right, this law that's on the books, it got expanded to terrorism under George Bush. And now it's called the Department of Defense of Civil Disturbance. That's the new term. But this is attached to a Garden Plot. Those grievances might provide a precondition base for a steadily deterring situation leading to demonstrations and violent attacks on the social order. The plan stated should external subversive forces develop successful control, it continued federal military intervention may be required to preserve life and property, which whose property? The elites, the filthy rich, the Illuminati, and maintain normal process of governments. Right? Says what followed was a detailed blueprint, check this out, for how the U.S. Army, on the President's orders, will deploy simultaneously to 25 American cities to put down civil unrest. For instance, riot control agents should be used to accomplish your mission prior to the use of live ammunition, it noted. Authority to issue live ammunition to personnel under command is authorized. They are not to load or fire their weapons except when authorized by an officer in person, when authorized in advance by an officer under certain specific conditions, or when required to save their lives. Warning shots will not be fired. However, when shooting is necessary, shots will be aimed to wound rather than to kill. And this is a lie. They're going to aim to kill, especially now. All right, what's going on? It says the Army set forth these factors assessing the probability of civil disturbances in the given urban area. Population by race, presence of poor economic and sociological conditions and their reflection in crime rates, unemployment rate in the area, no jobs, and that's what we've been saying. When there's no jobs, that's when people are going to riot and bug out, and the military is prepared for this. The army is already prepared. So you people thinking that you can outsmart the government, you cannot. That's why we tell our people, seek the Lord. He's going to be your defense, not carnally. You cannot go carnally, or you paramilitary maggot idiots that are proclaiming to be Israelites, but you're in a paramilitary type mind frame, right? So that's why I believe. I mean, just me speaking as a man. A lot of y'all are agents. You're COINTELPRO. You work for the federal government. Look at this. It says 25 high priority areas were identified, and the Army planned as if to combat civil disturbances in all of them at once. Right. So when the president gives the order, the Army goes in, and they all hit all the cities at once, simultaneously. All right. Element of surprise. Esau's a cunning hunter. Let's get that. Maybe you forgot the characteristics of Esau. Genesis, all right, 25 for you paramilitary dummies. Okay, Genesis 25. All right. Genesis 25 and 27. And the boys grew up. Who were the boys? Jacob and Esau. Jacob's our forefather, which are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. And Esau, all right, he's you so-called white people's forefathers, all right, you Caucasians. And Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. Right, so let's go to that word cunning. What does the word cunning mean? Yada, all right, to know, learn to know. All right, to perceive and see, to make, to be skillful, to know how, be skillful, to have knowledge, be wise. You see that? All right. Hey, they're wiser than Daniel. A hunter. What is a hunter? Hunting, game, hunted, hunting. All right. So he's a wise hunter. So that's Esau's blessing, man. And his blessing was the sword. So this is what's going to happen, man. And that's why we need Yahweh Shai to defend us. All right, let's go to another article. Why the detention center crisis should scare all Black Americans, right? Northern Kingdom, you so-called Hispanics and Americans, because you so-called Hispanics, more specifically, you already in the detention facilities because you're being deemed as illegal immigrants. All right, let's go to Jeremiah 30, because it all goes back to the scriptures, man. Jeremiah 30 and 4. And these are the words that the Lord spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah, right? Israel is the northern kingdom, which consists of you so-called Hispanics and Native Americans. And Judah, all right, are you southern kingdom, all right, which consists of you so-called Negroes, West Indies, all right, Jamaican, and Haitians, all right? We make up the 12 tribes. 5, for thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, not of peace, right? No peace is coming to America, all right? It's going to be fear and trembling. 6, ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into pillars, right? Because once Esau, all right, is given the go-ahead, all right, to invade and exterminate you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Americans, fear is going to be upon you. And you're going to hold a grown man, all right, a 240-pound grown man is going to be holding himself like a woman in travail, all right? 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. Right. The times that we're coming to, all right, nothing's going to be compared, all right, to what has happened to us in the past. What we're going into is going to be the worst of all, man. We're living the last day, the final, the grand finale. All right. Esau's about to lose his power. You think he's going to give it up? He's going to try to exterminate the children of Israel. All right. He's modern day Pharaoh. Just like Pharaoh, all right, said he wanted to kill all the firstborns. All right, that's the spirit that Esau's coming in, man. He want to kill all of us. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble. You see that? Jacob's trouble. But he shall be saved out of it, right? And that's the elect, all right? The ones that are found written in the book of life. So now let's go into this article. Rolling out. Why detention center crisis should scare all Israelite Americans. We're not black. We do not associate with that term black. We're Israelites. Hebrew Israelites, all right? Just like you, Esau, you're a Hebrew Edomite, all right? Start using your name correctly, all right? As disturbing images of undocumented immigrants in detention centers flood the media, it is easy to see how many on social media feel that Israelite people or Southern Kingdom people could be the next group. And I'm going to work hard not to say black because that is offensive, all right? In response to the article, could this video of caged and separated families be you one day? Readers were visceral in their response. The comments left on the Rolling Out Facebook page included, hell no, I would rather die on my feet than live on my knees in a cage. This is, well, guess what? Is of the Lord. If the Lord deemed you to be in a cage, then that was your judgment, all right? See, you know what it is, man? Everybody talking that shit. But when the time comes, when the talking's going to stop and everything's going to move on action, we going to see if, you know, you about that life, all right? Only the men of the Lord are going to be protected. But you 2/3, man, dwelling here in America, it ain't looking good for you. This is why we do something now. If we say or do nothing now, who will speak for us when they come for us? Because of past government actions directed against the Southern Kingdom community and its leaders, such as COINTELPRO, social media is full of conspiracies. All right. Once conspiracy theory that was widely believed, but later proven to be fiction, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. All right. And Rolling Out, shame on you. All right. This is an actual law that's on the books too. All right. That is a lie. Was the so-called King Alfred plan. No, this plan is real. All right. In 1967, novelist John A. Williams wrote The Man Who Cried I Am. In the novel, the King Alfred plan detailed how this dissident Southern Kingdom, all right, you know what, all the Israelites, because this is so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Americans, Israelite would be put in detention centers that were former shopping malls. All right. That's why you're having the brick and mortar industry crumbling. That's why you have Kmart closing down, Sears closing down, all right? Big supermarkets, certain areas like Walmart closing down, Sam's Club. Military bases and facilities designed for that specific purpose. The plan had details such as the U.S. being divided into 10 regions based on the Israelite population. Now, let's go into a scripture because this reminds me of Revelation 11, all right? The 10 parts of the city, all right? So that proves that this is talking about America. All right. Revelation 11 and 13. Well, I'll start at 12. Well, no, 11, Slakia. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them. Right. And this is talking about the Israelites. All right. Of the elect, waking up to who they are. All right. Prophesying the downfall of America and the downfall of Esau, Edom's kingdom. And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them, which saw them. Right. And that's you Edomites, you elite. That's why you're trying to paint this narrative of that we're a terrorist group. And we're not. All right. We just read out of the Bible. You just salty and mad because you see your kingdom going down ever since we woke up. And now, all right, you're trying to shut us up. But you can't. All right. This is the Lord's movie. All right. This is his theater. All right. And you are the antagonist of his movie. Point blank, period. And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. Right. This is when the Lord, all right, when he sends Michael the archangel, all right, and the angels to deliver the elect, all right? Because when Yahushua is coming, he's coming with a large army. That's why he's known as the Lord of Hosts or the Lord of Sabaoth. And while he delivers the elect, he's going to destroy your kingdom, Esau, Edom. All right? So this is talking about an abduction, a righteous abduction. 13, here's the point. And the same hour was there a great earthquake, right? And the 10th part of the city fell, right? What's that 10th part of the city? All right, let's talk about America, because America, according to the FEMA, like it says here, is divided into 10 regions. All right? So this is obviously talking about America. Okay, this is where the great destruction is going to be at and the great deliverance. And the 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, meaning completion, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the Most High of heaven. Right, because when we get delivered, we're going to have fear in our heart and in our spirit too, like, oh my God. But we're going to praise Yahweh Shem Shai that he deemed us worthy, all right, to be delivered. And that's what we're fighting for, man. We're fighting to get delivered. That's why you pseudo Hebrew Israelites with your paramilitary. What's wrong with you, man? All right. So let's continue on. It goes on and says, now in 2018, we see that immigrants. Let me finish this up. The plan had details such as the U.S. being divided into 10 regions based on the Israelite population and include the names of government agencies like FEMA that will be in charge of the Israelite detention centers. Now in 2018, we see that Israelites of the Northern Kingdom are being placed in closed Walmart stores like the one in Brownsville, Texas. See? That houses 1,400 minor boys. In addition, the government announced that infants and toddlers were being kept in what are being called tender age facilities separated from their parents. It's chilling and frightening reality that has shamed America at the UN and internationally. You see that? So this is what's going to happen. All right. Now let's jump down to Operation Garden Plot. And another government plan whose framework is still in place is called the Department of Defense Civil Disturbance Plan. Yeah, there it is. Or Operation Garden Plot. It was developed during the civil unrest of the 1960s. In 1967, there were 159 race riots across the country in major cities that include Atlanta, Boston, Tampa, Florida. Originally, the plan was written to deal with racial unrest as well as anti-Drab, anti-Vietnam elements. It included the deployment of Army units to support state and local authorities. That's why you had the cooperation between the military and the police. All right. Just this year, LA did a drill on that. It included the deployment of Army units to support state and local authorities to do whatever was necessary to restore order. The plan has been updated multiple times, including during the famous Los Angeles riots in 1992 and also during the aftermath of 9/11 terror attacks. It is now hard to imagine in these volatile political times how anyone's civil liberties could be stripped from them and targeted groups could be detained in a mass. Right, and that's what we're coming to, all right, where our people are going to be extracted out of their homes and detained, all right, and that's according to prophecy. And that's why, hey, 2020, the year of prophecy. And that's why we tell our people, you better get your head out of your 4-point of contact, return to Yahweh Shem Shai so he can deliver you, or you're going to partake in this and it ain't going to be pretty. All right, because you're going to be given up to the sword. All right, some of us will go into a FEMA camp, but guess what? The Lord's going to protect us. So let's go to 2nd Esdras, chapter 16, verse 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. Right, who's the burning wrath of the great multitude? That's talking about Esau, Edom. He's angry. All right, they see their country coming down. They see they're divided amongst each other. They have a lot of hate, animosity. Then they see us just being majority of us, not the elect, not the Israel, the hopeful elect, but the 2/3 being stupid, retarded, thinking shit is a joke, shit is a game, all right, acting all prideful and shit. Well, Esau's pissed off. And they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle, which things offer unto idols. Right. And that's when the time comes of Jacob's trouble, when you be put in those FEMA camps, and they're going to be like, hey, you're going to take the chip? You want to take the chip? The RFID chip? The microchip? And if you don't, we'll kill you. We'll kill your family. 6:9. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trod on the foot. Right. All those sellouts and coons, man, those that dropped, didn't have faith. Okay. 70. For there shall be in every place in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Right. So anybody that believes in the Bible, all right, you're a target. Okay. You're a target. If you call yourself a Christian, you're a target. If you say baby Jesus, you're a target. Everybody that believes in the Bible, all right, You have a Bible Belt. Okay? And including the men of the Lord too. All right? We're a target. 2071. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Right. Meaning there's going to be a mass execution of those that believe in the Bible. All right. Supposedly. Those that claim to be a man of God. All right. 72. For they shall waste to take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Right. You're going to lose everything. All right. So that prosperity doctrine, you should throw that out the window, you so-called Christians. You're going to lose everything. If you believe in the Bible, all right, everything's going to be taken away from you when this time comes. 73, then shall they be known who are my chosen, right? That's the elect being magnified. And they shall be tried as the gold in the fire, right? We're going to be tried, but the Lord is going to protect us, okay? 74, hear, O ye, my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same, right? And how's the Lord going to deliver us from the same? Because what is he going to do? He's going to lift up a standard, okay? So when Esau comes in like a flood, he's going to lift up a standard. Isaiah 59:19, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, that's talking about you Edomites, wanting to persecute us, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. Right. And you're going to have brothers that are going to have spiritual powers. That your weapons, whatever military artillery you have is going to be useless against the men of the Lord. All right. Because men of the Lord are going to have supernatural powers. All right. Yeah. I know that sounds like some sci-fi Marvel comic stuff, but it's the facts. It's the truth. 20. And the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and not to them that turn from transgression in Jacob. Right. Because who's the Redeemer? Yahushai. He delivers, he saves. All right, Jacob. First and foremost, the elect on this side, but ultimately all of Jacob shall be saved. All right? You don't believe? Hey, hold on. Romans, the 11th chapter. All right? You know, you so-called Christians, man, you don't know the Bible. All right? Check this out. Romans, I'll start 11 and 25. For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery. Right? This is a mystery. All right? This is a mystery because you so-called Christians think everybody can be delivered. And that's not the truth. Only Jacob's descendants can be delivered of the elect because 2/3 of ours will never get this, man. All right? Lest you should be wise in your own conceits that blindness is happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. All right? Because you got part of people blinded. All right? But guess what? 26. And so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written. There shall come out of Zion the deliverer, who's the deliverer, Yahushai. That's his Hebrew name. His name is not Jesus. And shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. The same thing that was said in Isaiah 59. The same thing. So what are you so-called Christians reading, man? 27. For this is my covenant unto them, when I shall take away their sins. You see that? So Isaiah 59 and 19 and 20, excuse me. And the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression in Jacob saith the Lord. 21. As for me, this is my covenant with them, saith the Lord. My spirit that is upon thee, and my words which I have put in thy mouth shall not depart out of thy mouth. Right, because we're just speaking what the scriptures say, all right? This word is destroying Esau's empire. This word, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's words, are destroying this man's kingdom. Now he's got to do this funny style stuff, but it's all part of prophecy. 2020, year of prophecy. Nor out of the mouth of thy seed, nor out of the mouth of thy seed, saith the Lord, from henceforth and forever. Right. So that's how you know we got the truth, man, because we're coming out straight out of the scriptures. So Lord willing is edifying. Hey, as you can see, man, hey, we're in year 2020, year of prophecy. Hey, and part of that prophecy is Jacob's trouble. You got this law on the books called Operation Garden Plot, which is against our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Americans. It behoove you to wake up and come return to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. But we know 2/3 won't. Only the elect will. All right. And this message is for the elect. All right. Keep pushing. Keep fighting. All right. We're almost out of here. All right. As you can see, man, we're getting close. And with that, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostle, great millstone, who well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there, pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life to do so for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep enduring, keep the faith. And with that, Shalom, and of course, Abba Babal. Shalom.